Hello, my crafting friends. So today we're going to be making these cute little hair bows, like a sailor type of hair bow with these scarves that I purchased from the $1.25 tree. Again, from the $1.25 or the Dollar Tree. They are 63 inches long by 13.8 inches wide. So because these are a little bit of a thinner fabric, and I like my bow to have a little bit of body to it, plus I'm afraid that when we get to sewing it, this edge might fray because the fabric is kind of it likes to fray a lot. So I'm worried that it's just gonna fray apart, and we're just gonna end up sewing basically a dotted line for the sewed edge to split from the fabric. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our scarf and we're gonna fold it in half lengthwise. So you're gonna go ahead and take it, fold it in half lengthwise like so. Then you're gonna cut the folded edge. So you're gonna end up with two pieces, and then those two pieces, once you have them together, we're gonna take each piece, we're gonna fold that piece in half, and then we're gonna cut that in half. So you'll end up with 4 pieces from this one scarf, and your pieces will end up looking like this. And this is after, obviously, I have ironed it. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take those pieces, each of those 4 pieces, and we're gonna fold them in half, like so. Okay, and then we're gonna fold it in half lengthwise. So you're kind of like quartering it, if you will. And all we're gonna do with this point is we're gonna make a cut that's going to be kind of the curve of your bow. Okay, so I'm gonna move the camera angle so that you can see what that curve looks like. And it's nothing rocket science, it's not very precision based, if you will. You can make that curve as angular or as slight as you prefer. So bear with me one second. Okay, so here's a top view. Here is the fold, and here's the other fold. So these are the two end angles here. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to make more of a curved bow. So I'm just going to pick a spot, any old spot, maybe like here, starting at 3 inches, and then just kind of curve it up towards the fold. So I'm just going to go like this, cut, 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 towards that fold, and voila. So that's our curve. And when we go to the serger, you can do one of two things. I'm going to serge the bottom, obviously the open part, so that it's closed. And I'm going to serge the top just so that it matches, but since it's a closed end, you really don't need to. If you want to go ahead and iron a cute or a crease in there, go right on ahead and do that. Actually, I'll go ahead and iron a crease just to make the serging a little easier, so it's not kind of moving, because it is kind of a slippery fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and iron a quick crease. There we go. I've got my crisp little ironed edge. So I'm going to take this over now to my serger. Okay, so I have changed my settings on my machine from serge to rolled hem. I'm going to go ahead and start at the round curve. Any side will do. So we're going to go ahead and just, the most important thing is to make sure that you're catching both layers of that fabric. you can see the phrase. So I am keeping a pretty good chunk in there, so that is actually looking really good. So I got a little cattywampus there as I was trying to keep that corner in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of a lighter to it and melt those strings down, because it is polyester and it will melt. If you're using cotton thread, do not do this, because you will set your item on fire. We don't want anybody's item or house or studio or any people to catch on fire. So be very careful about doing this. And so I usually will go through and catch some of these frays just along the whole thing anyway. So like right here we can see a little section that got a little cattywampus. But otherwise, it's looking good. So we can just trim these tails, and I put my scissors away. So here we go. We're going to trim this tail. Trim this tail. Okay, and it's technically done. If you wanted to, like I said, you could go ahead and just serge this end with your rolled hem. If you are making 2 layers, maybe you're making it one, like a reversible, so you're doing one fabric on one side and another fabric on another. So you're going to want to go ahead and do the rolled hem on this end so that you can close that up. So then all you're going to want to do is tie your bow. And so we're going to tie our bow, try to get those ends as close to equal as we can. Over and under. That's the way it looks now. Much better, much better. And I have the rolled hemmed edges matching the curves going in opposite directions so that they're not turned over, looking similar. And now for the clip. Now for the clip, I have 2 kinds and a few different sizes. I have these spring clips that you kind of squish the sides and little spring opens. If you wanted to use this, you would basically just apply it with some hot glue to the back of the bow, and then that'll just stick on that way. I also have alligator clips that you just pinch, they open, and you can simply just insert that open end into that bow, the tie in the back, and it's a clip. So now if you want to take it one extra step just to make sure that it's nice and secure, you can add some hot glue, a dab there and a dab there, a little dab will do ya, and you're good to go. But for me, I'm happy with this. It just opens and closes. If you're worried about the security of the knot itself, by all means, you can hand sew, tack those knots closed with some coordinating thread, or just hide it in the middle of the bow. You can also use that thread to tie it onto the clip, to sew it onto the clip. Or, if you're going to add a little button or an embellishment here, a cabochon or whatever, then you can use that to kind of secure through both ends of that knot so that that knot's not coming off. But, I think if you just leave it like that, it's fine. Okay, so I didn't show you me cutting out the design on my Cricut, but if any of you want to know how to do this, go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I'll create a video for you. But for now, we're going to go ahead and just apply our design onto our bow. I decided to do it on the bow tails here rather than on the bow proper. So we're going to go ahead and get that applied. I'm going to start with, I do have a full-size heat press, but I'm just going to use my little Cricut mini press, and I'm going to cross my fingers that it's going to work, because I've never actually used the mini press for heat transfer. So we're just going to go ahead, I'm going to stick this here, and then we're going to press. All right, so I've layered, I'm going to layer this. So that's my first. Then I'm going to add these cute stars. Okay. And then I'm going to add the USA right here to the middle. But I usually will put some butcher paper down just to kind of protect it, but I think we're good. And we'll peel off our protective pieces. So that's the first bow side. And then on this bow side, I'm going to put my granddaughter's name. Her name is Kira Lynn, and that's going to go right there. Now, after I went ahead and printed this and did all that fun stuff, I was like, maybe I should have done the circle, or a circle instead of a square as the background, but you know what? Live and learn, right? She'll still love it. And I did her name, as you can see here, in some glitter, white glitter. And then here's my 4th of July, so that's what that bow will look like. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you can do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Go ahead and hit that bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. And leave me a comment. That's the best way to help me, and I can get an idea of what it is that you would like to see next. So for now, happy crafting.